Good guys, continuing our presentation of the new version of RadCORE, we saw in our previous video a quick demonstration of the new EC Wizard and what our new layout of the RadCORE home tile looked like. Continue. For those who don't know it yet, RC Elements is another component that integrates with the DELPHI IDE, which will help with application development, bringing more productivity and ease to development with hard code. This element is bringing a series of improvements, which you will see in detail later, but for those who don't know it yet, we will give a demonstration of how this process works. So let's go. I have here, in our dashboard model, which we opened there, this new dashboard model here, and so on. So you will see that you have all our components. They are native components. The RadCORE doesn't bring any visual component. You won't need to change your components, especially if you already have a NIG application. You won't need to do that. You can reuse everything you have. So we're just going to work on the layout, the new standard that RadCORE offers. So how does our RC element work? So we have several components here. I'm going to take here, for example, this citizen here, which is a responsive block, and I'm going to press the right button here, and I'm going to click here, RC Elements. So you'll have settings here that will be used, that will be interpreted, so to speak, and applied to inform the radicolium that you want this block. If it will have a layout, if it will have a format, what will it do? So all these attributes that we call, they are our commands, our dynamic attributes. They are like a pseudo language that you will use within RadCORE, within DELPHI, within RC Elements, and tell RadCORE what you want to do with that component. So for example, our responsive system is used as a calls attribute. So RC Elements will show you what you have, and if you click here 2 times, for example, press FTW here, it will bring me all the parameters you can use with our calls attribute. So we are using it here for demonstration. In the same way, when you're going to develop something with this element, if you type calls : and press F3 here, which is our complete, it will insert for you what parameters that attribute has available. It will already be standardized, so you can configure it and change the parameters you want. It is not the criteria of this video to now explain to you how responsiveness works, what every detail means. But for those who know Bootstrap, you already have an idea more or less of what I wanted to do here. I kind of copied the idea from Bootstrap and created our responsibility system without using CSS into RadCORE, including things that don't exist in Bootstrap. This allows us, RC Elementos allows us to expand and create things very simply within the RadCORE project. This is our RC Elements that brings a series of tools, creating forms, creating frames, everything in the RadCORE standard, generating forms based on tables, inserting components. So we have a lot of things here within RC Element, which is what favors us in creating resources here within RadCORE. Okay, so just to give us a quick idea, our last screen item is this graph. So for example, if I come here to my scroll box, press my right button, right? I came here in example of composite components here from RadCORE. For example, I will select here composite component, which can be used to create search system. So I'm going to insert RadCORE, insert it for us here with all the necessary nomenclature, okay? And I simply recompile my project, and let's take a look at how it turned out. I already have our new block here that we added with the visual components that are brought inside it. So we already have this resource available here. If I come here for mobile, you will already see all the responsibility formatting of our block, taking into account the resources that we need within RadCORE. This is an example of the ease of use that RadCORE brings within its objective, which is to facilitate development and also bring predefined resources to the end user. Okay. I'm going to remove this from here just so it doesn't affect our future demonstration later. Another new thing here. So in addition to us having resources available today for us to create and migrate VCL applications to UniGi with RadCORE, we are now taking a new approach that will facilitate the migration of code, VCL standard, to RadCORE UniGi standard. In addition to also allowing us to add compound function code more quickly, complex functions that are used in RadCORE, which have a lot of parameters, and then you will be able to insert these functions more quickly. So to demonstrate this here, we will open the demo message and we will have a demonstration of our show ride here. So what is show ride? Let's do a quick demonstration of it. I'm going to open Megadam. I'm going to come here to my miscellaneous example messages, and then I'm going to have my show ride function here. What is the show ride? I clicked here, it will bring me modal. I can even stack these modals. So these are the examples that we will bring here within RadCORE. So show ride is a function that we will have a panel, and this panel will be used to create this entrance and exit animation. So if we open the code here, the show ride code, it is extensive code because I need several parameters, and I also need to pass with parameters the panel that will receive the animation, which it will process in the call to show ride. So what we're going to have here is RC codecs. So we can talk about RC codecs. When you create a panel on your form, whatever that panel is, you mounted the panel on the screen. It's here. Your panel is in here. What do you just need to do now? You need to get it. I'm going to get our same demo here, but just to demonstrate the use of RC codecs. I just need to write the name of my panel, double click on it, press the right button here, and then we will now have the RC codecs below. Sorry that Delphi is causing BPL problems here, which is normal for those who use Delphi. So RC codecs, and then I'm going to come here, insert func calls, and then I'm going to put it here, call to show ride. You observe what will happen in the code, okay? So he took the name of my panel and set up the show hard call for me. So this, folks, will help us develop faster. So any resource that you have to use, that you want to do this in RadCORE, you will be able to use the rec codecs. Another new feature is, for example, we know that UniGui has the show message. We have a pattern here that is similar to the VCL pattern, the show message function. When you are bringing a VCL application to UniGui, to RadCORE, if you have show message, message dialog, if you have functions for your own use, which we will be able to make these configurations in the future, you will be able to convert this show message for a more pleasant visual pattern. Using our example here, RadCORE offers a multitude of message models. For messages, then messages with batch files, then standard use messages, okay? So you will have a series of models, okay? With Switch Alert, with Toaster, with iGrow, RadCORE brings all of this messaging options for you. If you have a simple show message and you want to transform it into a message with the alert switch, for example, you simply select your message, press the right button here, go to the codecs, okay? You come here to the message option, and then you will enter here message box to switch alert or show message to RC show message. Any of them will work. So I'm going to use the show message to RC show message here as an example. You will click OK and it will automatically convert to show info, which is the default we see here now. It will turn into show info. If I'm here, I'm going to come back here and I want to select switch alert. You see the message to switch alert. It will convert in the same way. It will recognize and automatically convert your message to a more modern and cool visual standard, more pleasant for your customer. Let's go. Let's continue, folks. So there were changes to the login Some details, guys, I'll pass on because otherwise the video will be very, very, very long. Okay, and then let's start talking about layout. Okay, so we had an improvement in all of our components. They have now received a new dimension to be completely closer to what you see in everyday life with the templates that are out there on the internet. RadCORE previously had a layout model that was neither as small nor as large as the models that are used today with that mobile-first standard. So we are now bringing a standard 38 pixel model, okay? For the edit boxes, okay? If an edit box is inside a responsive block, it will be 40 pixels. If it is inside a responsive block with a label, it will be 60 pixels, okay? So this model here, folks, is exactly that. Look, I have a responsive block, okay? It will have 60 pixels, and then there is a label, and there is code inside it, an editing component inside it. So that's what we're going to be using now here as standard, okay? Inside RadCORE. Remembering that ours, this element, okay, people? You will be able to select within it if you want to work with the current model, or you will be able to deselect it, and it will work with the previous model. So this is to maintain backwards compatibility, okay? For those who already used this here in the past in RadCORE. So for example, if I came here now to get the editing component here, for example, I click OK here, it will insert a responsive block for me here with Levo, with edit, already ready, already in the visual pattern that we are discussing at the moment. Beauty? Okay, good people. So our radio group received a visual improvement, thanking our users, Gustavo from GRsoft, who helped us, contributed to this improvement. He improved it and sent it to me so we could put it inside RadCORE. What are we talking about? So I'm going to take another RadCORE example here, which is the Fishfax model. It's the version that Niggy brings in the demos, but completely reassembled, completely styled using responsive blocks, etc. And here's what our new radio group looks like. So this is the layout that you will be receiving now with version 6.0 of the radio group.
Beleza?
Let's continue here. And then I'm going to wrap this up, guys, so our video doesn't get too long, okay? And we continue in the next video.